Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jnelsonus, and if you are new to my channel, I welcome you, and if you aren't new, welcome back, like I just said in the beginning. Today's video is going to be a story time about something that happened to me when I was 16, and I just wanted to share it with you guys, and however you take the story, or I hope that with this story of me telling it, I don't know, that you guys learn something from it, and that you guys take something from it, and also remember the values that I'm going to share with you as well. So there's no I'm not gonna make the intro extra long, but I'm just gonna get right on into it. So, okay, I don't think I've said it, but this video is going to be like a little trigger warning for anyone who is very sensitive to like feminism, femininity, I don't know. It deals with something that happened to me regarding women, and sorry, I look like a mess. And if anyone who is very sensitive towards that topic, I suggest you probably not watch it, or watch it to understand where I'm going with this. Okay, so let's get right into the story. I was 16 years old. Now at this time when I was 16, I was kind of going through something in my life where I was living with a bunch of people. I was living in New Jersey. I was living in Newburgh, New York. Where I grew up, stuff like that. So it was just a very turbulent time in my life at 16. Well, majority of my teen years have been very hard for me, but just around that time, I had my uncle. He was helping me out. He had given me a place to stay. He was giving me, a vehicle, a car, and, stuff like that. He was helping me out during this time. So just to kind of like, a kind of person who what is that word? Just a background of who he is. He is the type of guy to, well, he wasn't the type, but he was the guy that, if he did something for you, he'll throw it in your face later, or if he helped you out with something, he expects you to do something for him. So he was that kind of guy. So for example, when I was in high school, this is just a little bit of a backstory. When I was in high school, I had honors. I was really good in school, and I had chemistry, and I thought like everything was easy, but it's just chemistry was really hard for me. So he said that he would, get me to do online high school. And at the time, like my mom and everybody that I told that I was going to do this, they said it wasn't a good idea, blah, 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 blah. But he was helping me at the time, and I was like, not going to school, okay, that sounds like an awesome thing. But later on, like I kept hearing from, family members who said, you need to stay in school, this and this and that. And so I told my uncle, I said that I didn't want to do online classes, and he got upset with me, and he didn't talk to me, like he didn't help me, you know what I mean, like I depended on him at such a young age. Like I depended on him, and he got upset with me because I didn't want to do online school. But when I agreed to do online school, the next morning he made me pancakes. So that's just like a little bit of like who he kind of is. My eyebrows look so faint. So it was very like an emotional type of manipulation with me at around that time. He wasn't sexually, he wasn't that way with me, just very emotionally, very controlling. So around this time I was going to church, and he picked me up. So like I said, he had given me a car, an apartment, everything. So he had there's a whole lot. So he had because I was 16, so and in the state of New York, I think you can get your permit. You can't. Oh my God, I'm everywhere. In the state of New York, you can get your permit, but you have to have someone ride with you while you have your permit until you get your license. I don't know. I forgot how it is. It's been a long time. So he had to pick me up, and I would drive. Like when he picked me up, I would drive home, and vice versa. So this one, who is that? I don't know. So this one time he had picked me up from church, and I had like the most amazing uplifting evening, you know, very Do you hear that? I look like a big mirror. Look at my lips, they're so ashy. But anyways, I had the most uplifting evening, blah 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 blah. I was happy. So fast forward, that night I was supposed to go to my my stepmom's house to stay the night. I was gonna go see her and visit her. So he was gonna drive me to about 45-minute drive to my destination. So I remember sitting in the car, and he was upset about me because like I said, he paid for everything for me and everything like that. He helped me because he felt that I was a good person, good student, and he wanted to help me because at the time I was struggling. So in the car, on our way there, he got upset with me because he said I was using up all my phone's data, and like any typical 16-year-old would get upset, blah 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 blah. So I was just upset. I was like, I'm not using all the data, but it was like crazy. Like we have Verizon, and literally I could just go on Facebook, go on Instagram, and then the data would spike, you know what I mean? And he had also other people on his plan, so that might be the reason why, but I hardly ever used the data on my phone. So anyway, I was upset with him, and he was upset with me. So it was just, we didn't talk to each other in the car on a drive there. So then, I guess, I forgot, most of it is like a daze, what happened. But I remember, key points. I remember him looking over at me, and he said, "You think you're better than me?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I don't think I'm better than you." He said, "Yeah, you think you're better than me?" Like, I don't understand where this was coming from. I know he has other things going on in his life, and at that time he wasn't doing good emotionally or mentally, but I remember just in that moment, oh my God, so much was going on. So let me just, wow, woo, okay. So on the car ride there, so he looked at me, then I think something happened, like something was said between us, and then he pulled over the car and he said, "Women are weak. Women can't protect themselves. They talk so much, shh, but they can't protect themselves." He said, "I could kill you right now. I could kill you right now." Like, he said that to me. I'm like 16. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened, why he's upset with me. In my mind, I don't know what's going on. Like, I know, like, okay, we might be upset with each other, but I don't know where this was coming from. And at the time, I was like, I was very, like, I don't know. I am a very hot-headed person. I'm a very, what is that word? I'm a very, stubborn person. Very, very stubborn. So he said that to me, and then I was like he can do anything he wants to me. So what I initially got out the car, opened the car door, and I was getting ready to, because he pulled over, like I said, and I was ready to get out the car. And as I got out the car, he drove really fast, and I kind of hopped out of the car, and the door slammed on my arm. So he drove off, left me, in the middle of the highway, in the middle of winter, at 10 p.m. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm pissed, you know, what is that? Adrenaline, my adrenaline is rushing. So I'm like, okay, I know where she lives. I can continue this walk. I know how to get there. You know what I mean? I don't need him. I don't need him. And so I like continue to walk. His car pulled up from behind me. And so he hops out of the car. He says, get in the car. Get in the car now. And I said, no. And so he like grabbed me by my arms. And like, I just remember like scratching him in the face and screaming. And then he opened the back door of the car and shoved me in the back door. And so like, I was just crying and shaking and crying in the back of the car. And I was like hyperventilating as well. And so I forgot what he said, but then he pulled the car over again. And then he got in the back seat. And I thought, you know, he was going to hurt me. And, you know, I thought he was going to assault me. So I screamed. I screamed for, you know, I screamed. But he didn't do anything to me. So he looked at me. He says, you think I'm gonna rape you? Or whatever. He said, you think I'm gonna rape you? So then he stops. He gets out of the back seat, and then he gets back to the front seat, and then he continues. I look like a mess. Then he continues to drive to her house to drop me off. Then he dropped me off. He said a couple of words or whatever, and then that was that for the evening. And then like a couple of texts transpired, blah blah blah. Eventually, I ended up moving out, and I ended up living with other people. But the moral of the story, or the reason I told the story, is because when he told me that, you know, women are weak, you know, women can't defend or protect themselves. Like for the longest time, I felt so violated. Like I felt like I honestly felt like, because I'm a woman, and in that moment in the car when he said that to me, I'm like, what can I do to protect myself? You know what I mean? I'm by myself. I'm 16 years old. I'm small. This is a grown man, a tall grown man. He can do anything he wants to me. He could kill me. Like he literally said he could kill me right now. And you know what I mean? What can I do? What can I do to protect myself? And like I just kept thinking about that over and over, replaying that in my head. Like I just felt truly defenseless as a woman, and truly defenseless as a human being. Like, I couldn't protect myself. And it took me a while to get over that, and sometimes I still have like, I don't know, PTSD, you know, towards men or whatever. I see my uncle, like, cause you know, sometimes I still see him and stuff like that. And then recently in the past, I had he was trying to help me out again, but the same thing happened, but not the whole, you know, argument thing. I don't know. But it just really messed me up, like, in here, like, with my thinking towards men, with my idea of, you know, I don't understand. Like, I know I'm not weak. I know I'm not weak. But physically, I know I can't tackle a 100-pound, I don't know, grown man that's bigger than me. And it makes me feel defenseless. It makes me feel like I can't protect myself. But I just want you guys to know that if you are ever in a situation where you can't physically protect yourself, you know what I mean? Or if you've ever been in a situation like that, that you're not alone. I mean, I can't sit here and say, you guys, you know, I don't know. But I do feel like there are a lot of women out there who felt that they've been in that situation before, or girls who are dealing with that situation or being assaulted daily or anything like that. I just want you guys to know that you aren't weak. You know, you are very strong, very strong. And a lot of, you know, women who go through the things like this don't understand how much strength it takes for them to get through situations like this. because I've been through numerous of situations where men have belittled me, have made me feel if I was little. But there's the thing you have to remember is that all men aren't like that. You know, all men don't think like that. And I don't understand why he thought like that. I feel like there was other things going on in his life at that time. That's why he projected those feelings onto me. But I was there to take that blow. And I'm kind of happy that it wasn't like any of my sisters or any other of my cousins, because I just wouldn't want them to go through what I had to go through. So yeah. That's just basically a story, you know, and you know, a lot of times, you know, women, we may feel that, you know, I don't know, but just never let anyone, never let any man or any other human make you feel that you can protect yourself. Because if I do remember in the moment when everything did happen, I remembered that what I could do, I scratched, I screamed, you know, it was better than nothing. You know, sometimes we underestimate the things that we do to protect ourselves, but at least if you know, something did happen to me, like if I did end up losing my life that night, which is a crazy thought, you know, and I'm not trying to be so dramatic, but you know, who knows what people's intentions are anymore, or what people want to do, or who wants to hurt you. But just, that's just what happened to me. That's just one of the things that's happened to me before in my past. And if you've been through, I think I said this before, if you've been through something like this, or if you are going through something like this, just remember that you are strong. Just remember that just because you're a woman doesn't make you weak. Just because you might not be able to protect yourself physically with muscles and all these other things that we might not have. I know some really strong women, but you know, some women who don't have that to defend themselves against their fathers, their uncles, their best friends, people who take advantage of us. So it's just crazy, the world we live in. But what can we do? You know what I mean? I can only make a video. I can only learn how to take self-defense classes, you know? What's happened has happened already. So I can only learn from now, move on with my life, and tell other people about what I've been through in case you guys are going through something, you know? So that was my story, you know, about what happened to me when I was 16. You know, a lot of things have happened to me when I was 16, 17, 18, 15, but it's just one of those most defining things that whenever I feel, you know, it's one of those things that brings me down, and, you know, as a woman. But I know that women are strong. I know I am strong. So thank you so much for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, stick around. I have so many other stories, you know, not good, or I mean good and bad, that I would love to share with you guys, because this is life. This is a real life. This is what we go through. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Don't forget to, I don't know what other YouTubers say, I don't know. Come back. Bye guys.